Good morning, this is the Desert Shaman Thunder here. I had to do a video today in response to something I read that Trump said. Okay, I'm going through the news and all of a sudden up pops this news story about Trump saying, "I'm coming after you." Some kind of cryptic threat, supposedly. "I'm coming after you." That's interesting. Trump's no fucking Apache. How is he coming after them? Let's look at Donald Trump for a minute. I realize that a lot of people put hope in Donald Trump and in the political system. He's our guy. He's going to win in 2024. We're patriots. He's going to take back our country. Really? Now, if you want to believe in Trump as some type of savior, that's okay with me. Whatever gives you hope. But let's look at this realistically, shall we? When Trump was in office, he made a lot of fucking mistakes, okay? He's the one that instituted Operation Warp Speed. He's the one that hired Fauci. He's the one that brought in all these neocon warhawks, generals around him. Deep state for sure. And everybody at the time was scratching their head and going, excuse me, what the fuck is going on here? Why is he hiring all these people that are obviously hawks? Even Bolton and Mike Pompeo and people like that. Deep state actors. There's no question about it, okay? Why did he hire all those people? Then it evolved to the point where all of a sudden he became like a martyr with the January 6th debacle at the White House. And got ostracized and went through. So is Trump a good cop and Biden's the bad cop, or the deep state? It's hard to tell. The lines are blurred. The lines are blurred. I mean, you've got to look at track records. Now, let's say he made a mistake. Let's say he went into office and made a mistake. Listen to advisors, listen to people about who he should hire and who should be on his staff, and all that kind of stuff, okay? He made a big mistake, okay? Let's say he made a big mistake, but he's really a good guy. He's really a good guy, and he really wants to take back America from the criminal element that is ruling us right now. But is he part of that criminal element? Is this just a play? Politics is a play. Politics is a scam. Politics is a lie. It's a fucking lie. Period. If you put your faith in politics, you're lost. Okay, you're basically lost, because that's not the answer. Never has been the answer. Never will be the answer. So let's take this. Let's say, just for a minute here, let's act as if Trump is a good guy and he wants to take back America and he wants to make peace in the world and make peace with Putin and Russia and stop the Ukraine war and on and on and on. All these promises, okay? Bluster. In the first place, well, let's look at it Let's look at it like he's a good guy. So when I was reading this article, a comment popped up. I think I'm going to sneeze here, so if I have to pause the video, excuse me for a minute here. Okay, Gesundheit and all that good shit. So as I'm reading this article about Trump saying that I'm coming after you, somebody wrote in response, just say the word, Prez, and we'll lock and load. Just say the word, Prez, and we'll lock and load. Meaning they're going to chamber around in a firearm, if you don't know what that means. And we're with you, okay? That's about the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard. And of course I commented, I made a comment back. And I said, if you can't see what's going on way before this, and use them, use what you have. If you haven't used it by now, and you haven't seen what's been going on for the last 2 years, you're dropping the ball. You're no fucking Apache, and neither is Trump, okay? Why do I mention Apaches? Well, I've been reviewing. See, I have a extensive library on every Native American tribe, but especially the Apache, because I love them and they're warriors. No bullshit. They got prickly pear cactus for fucking balls, okay? If you read a book like this, Watch For Me on the Mountain by Forrest Carter, a novel and a story, fictionalized but nonfiction because it was all taken from reality. And there's other books that are completely nonfiction about the Apaches. They were the greatest warriors on this planet. Most likely, the greatest guerrilla warriors that ever walked the face of the earth. And I'm looking at comments like, just say the word, Prez, and we'll lock and load. It's laughable. Do you know what the Apaches went through? Do you have any idea what the Apache people went through in the Apache wars in Arizona, southern Arizona, and central Arizona, and New Mexico? Do you have any idea what those people went through living on reservations, having to walk 20 miles, okay, to get a ration every month or whatever? I think it was every month. You had to walk 20 miles. You had to be present, whether you were an elder, a child, a woman with a baby, a warrior, a chief. It didn't matter. You had a little metal tag around your neck with a number on it. And you lived in the most hostile environment on San Carlos Reservation, where there was nothing, just desert, sun, dryness, dust, one of the most horrible places on earth. I'm from Arizona, so I know that whole area, and I hiked that whole area when I was a kid, and I know all about that area. Harsh, to say the least. Apaches could run 80 miles a day in this shit, okay? You look at the Apache back then, there were no fat Apaches, okay? There were no fucking fat Apaches. They were all lean, okay, skinny, but yet somehow they managed to fight off the bluecoats, and you can liken the bluecoats to the deep state. Okay, let's do that. You fought the bluecoats, and it didn't matter whether you were a woman, a man, an old man. Shit, Nana, who was a chief in the Apaches, was in the saddle till he was well past 80 years old with a broken foot, nonetheless. He could maneuver better on a horse than he could on the ground. When I look at this stuff, when I look at what true warriors really are, I look at these people that say things like, just tell us when you're ready, Prez, and we'll lock and I look at them as a bunch of fucking pussies. That's what it amounts to. They're a bunch of fucking pussies. You got all kinds of gun nuts out there, and I say gun nuts because that's the label that people put on people with firearms, all right? I'm going to lend a whole different interpretation to the word gun nut. If you have a gun, you're a nut if you don't fucking use it. How's that? You got to wait for some political figure, some fat cat sitting in high ivory towers. Shit, he's got 42 indictments against him or more on every level. You think the average American out there, if they got 42 indictments, would they be walking around free? Fuck no. They'd be in jail. They wouldn't get any bail. They wouldn't get any slap on the wrist. They wouldn't be allowed to walk around out in public. We're talking felonies here. Felony after felony after felony. Now, people will say, well, you know, it's the Biden and the deep state, and they're using the FBI, and they're using the CIA, and they're using the Department of Justice, and they're all ganging up on Trump. Well, if that's true, all the more fucking reason that you should have your eyes open. Now, let's just say Trump's a good guy. Well, if you're a follower of Trump, okay, if you're militia minded, let's say, or you know, if you have a lot of guns and you're a follower of Trump, or let's just say you're a warrior, it doesn't matter what kind of weapon you have. Fuck, the Apaches used everything. Knives, lances, whatever. And they were masters at knife fighting, martial arts, and all that good shit. But if you're sitting around, okay, and you're seeing that your guy, your leader, okay, is in harm's way and they're attacking him, the other side is attacking him, the other side being the enemy, you could say they were the bluecoats or something. If you see that your leader is being attacked, do you sit around with your thumb up your ass for 2 years? And if you see the country has gone to hell in a handbasket, and you see that there is no criminality reigns supreme, there is no laws. Anybody that makes a law in Congress or anywhere for that matter is a fucking joke. None of them follow the laws. Oh, but we'll make the laws anyway for other people. We'll put them under the gun. Okay, we'll have all kinds of fucking laws about this and about that. One of these groups of laws would be trying to take people's firearms away, okay, from these gun nuts or patriots or whatever you want to call them. That would be some of the laws that they would put out there. And I get email after email after email from gun advocates and from even congressmen and gun manufacturers. I get emails all the time. And all the time, every one of these emails is asking for money, okay? If you give us your money, we'll fight for you. We'll fight for your rights. Oh, they're taking this away, and oh, they're taking that away, and oh, we can't have a bump stock anymore, and oh, we can't have automatic weapons, or we can't have clips over so many rounds. Help us fight. Help us fight. We'll win this. It's pathetic. And then you get other, you see other gun magazines or whatever, and they got all the latest stuff, red dot scope, laser scopes, and red dot sights, and magazines that are extended way beyond your fucking belief, barrel magazines, and oh, look at this new gadget, and hey, how about this armored vest here? We got an armored vest, and it just goes on and on and on. Shooting glasses, all these gun nuts, all these gun enthusiasts out there, look at these things, and oh, it's another new toy. Where are they getting all the fucking money for this shit? That's what I want to know. It's another new toy that we can play. We can go out on the range and blow the fuck out of watermelons and Coke bottles and set up targets, and we can pretend like they're the enemy. And we're really good. I mean, yeah, there's some really good gunners out there, women too. But meanwhile, while they're dicking around with all this stuff and playing with their toys and seeing how much money they can invest, and some of them even got safes full of guns and every kind of gun that you can imagine. While these people are dicking around with their toys, the country's been taken over, just as sure as it was taken. The lands that the Apache lived on free in the White Mountains and in different areas was taken over. And they kicked the Apache out of the good areas and shipped them off into concentration camps, okay? You see a parallel here? Did the Apaches just sit around and go, oh shit, man, let's vote for so-and-so in Congress, let's vote for whoever was president at that time, he's going to help us. Did they do that? No, they fucking didn't do that. They didn't sit around like a bunch of jackasses, okay, and let people take advantage of them. They fought to the teeth. Like I say, they were the best guerrilla warriors. They could hide under sand. Excuse me. They could hide under sand. You wouldn't even know they were there. You'd be out on a patrol, and all of a sudden, boom, they'd pop up all around you, and you were history. That happened many, many times. And if they were somehow overwhelmed, guess what? Just like Vittorio, he took himself out before he was captured, rather than be captured by the white eyes. Okay, and you can use this term white eyes for these lily white motherfuckers in Congress like Biden and the rest of them. McDonnell, no, I can't remember. O'Donnell, whatever his name is. Mitch McConnell, that's what it is. Sitting around letting a bunch of criminal white eyes do the same thing that they did a long time ago to the Apache. Take land, take resources, commit genocide on indigenous people, use their own people against them, hound people to death, chase them and 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 back them into corners. And that's the same thing that's happening today. It's kind of like a karmic vibration from back then. It's karma. Okay, it's coming around. Only this time the American people are the ones that are the Apaches. Welcome to the res. Welcome to the res. You're the Apache now. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to fucking do about it? Sit around on your ass like a lily white, obese American drinking your lattes and eating your fucking fast food and thinking that everything's just hunky-dory. Look around you. You're in a shitstorm. You're in a fucking shitstorm. So it cracks me up when I see these things. People putting faith in politicians. Even though Bobby Kennedy says some really good stuff, do you think he'll ever get in? It's a game. It's a sham. It's a circle jerk. That's what it is. It's a fucking circle jerk and a clusterfuck. And if you think it isn't, you're basically delusional. You're delusional. All you got to do is look at history. Shit. Anything good come out of an American politician? Anything good come out of government entities that subjugate and tyrannize people? Anything good ever come out of that? All these assholes sitting in Congress with their suits on and their ties on, yapping about passing this bill and passing that bill and the wall and the borders, and yet they just sit there and they take bribes daily. Trips, vacations, bribes, money in their bank account, just like, and it's all an illusion, just like that movie Wag the Dog. It's all put on. The fact that they're doing anything for the American people, or talk about snake oil salesmen. And the Apaches knew what snake oil salesmen were. They knew the lion speak with a forked tongue, wide eyes bullshit. There was no delusions with them. There was no, if we go in and we vote at the local, wherever you vote back in the old West, probably the post office or something. If we go in and we line up, but see, they couldn't even vote. They weren't considered citizens. An Indian, the only good Indian was a dead Indian. Let's get real here, fucking people. Look at history. Look at the history of this government of the United States and how they killed 200 million indigenous people when they set foot on this land. Think anything's changed? Think again. Nothing's changed. It's worse. It's worse for, and I'll tell you why it's worse. There might have been some semblance of, back in the day in the government of that time, there might have been some semblance of reasonableness. There might have been some people that were like, why are we doing this? But if you look around today, if you look at Congress and the presidents and the leaders of the world, there's no semblance of fucking sanity at all. There's no semblance of compassion. There's no semblance of love. Not at all. It's quite the opposite. It's quite the contrary. It's complete snake oil salesman. step right up and which you know, which walnut is the pea under, and you know, there's no difference, okay? So that's why I kind of sincerely doubt that any public figure, politician, I once had a Native American friend that defined the word politics, many blood-sucking ticks. He was on, I don't know where he is now, but he was on the team that was trying to get Leonard Peltier out of prison. Been there for all his life for a trumped up charge. Politics, blood-sucking creatures that suck the life force out of you by granting you, trying to give you some kind of hope. Some kind of fucking hope, okay? Cling on to this, motherfucker. It's just around the corner, man. As soon as I get in office, we'll straighten things out. Have you heard that? Have you heard that before, ever? Have you heard about promises that people make when they're running for office and they seem to evaporate like the steam coming out of a coffee pot? Evaporates into fucking thin air? You need to wake up, people, and these people out there that are so delusional. Let's get real. Let's get real. The American people and basically the world at large is in a hell of a shitstorm right now, where their very lives depend on their very lives are dependent upon a bunch of fucking snake oil salesmen and crooks and hooligans. There is no fucking rule of law. There's their rule of law, and then there's your rule of law. The rule of law for them does not exist. They can do anything they want with impunity, kill hundreds of thousands of people, bomb cities, create wars, create proxy wars. Are you kidding me? So when I see this shit about, yeah, man, we're ready to lock and you fucking pussies. You would have done it by now if you were going to fucking do it. If you had any balls, if you weren't neutered, okay? If you had any fucking balls, you would have done it by now. I want to hear this shit. Just give the word, really? He could give the word and he still wouldn't fucking do anything. And he's not going to give the word. This is all theater. Let's see, I'll come out today and I'll say, let's see, I'm coming after you. Well, and then the other side goes, we're going to throw you in jail. That's a veiled threat and blah, blah, blah. It's theater. Can't you see that? I mean, really, can't you see that it's theater? Why delude yourself into thinking that pinning some kind of false hope? You're no fucking Apache, Trump. And you're no Geronimo. And you're no Cotonnier. And you're no Nana. And you're no Lausanne or Goyan. You're not any of those people. You're sitting in your ivory tower with your fucking... Anybody else would have been in jail. In chains. In the fucking solitary confinement, all right? So you got to wonder, huh? How's this guy get out of this shit so easily and just skate around, say whatever he wants? And again, you know, if you think that somehow Trump came to his senses, okay, along the line and realized that he made a bunch of big fucking mistakes and had a change of heart and is really going to do what needs to be done now, you're delusional. You're delusional. Look at you got to look just like in the Native American tradition, just to remind you. You look at people's track record, you look at their history, you look at their character, and you look where their fucking heart is. That's what you look at. So let's get real here, shall we? You sit around and let shit happen. And you sit around and you don't even put up a fight. Well, you know what? I'd rather go down fighting than be on my fucking knees. Rather go down fighting than be on my fucking knees. That's your choice. And you're already on your knees, so good luck on pulling yourself up and all of a sudden getting your shit together. You get my drift here? Get what I'm saying? Think about it. Adios.